Are you ready? I am. So, question. Money is at the core of everything? Answer. There will never be enough. So, today, oop, got a typo there. I did correct myself. It is September 2nd, 2020, here in California. It is 6:23 Pacific Standard Time. What is real and what is lies? Emphasis on both. Ready? Ready? Can you handle the truth? I say you can. The problem is you don't want truth. The money pie. There will never, ever be enough pie. Why? And as always, I'd want to remind everybody to wake up while you can. Stand up while you can. And speak up while you can. Vote. If you're in the United States of America, you need to vote. And it needs to be a legitimate vote, an accountable vote. There's a lot of disturbance in the whole matter of voting. Unrealistic in my mind from what I've seen, looked at. There's a lot of common sense on what should be allowed and what should not be allowed. If one wants to be an absentee voter, there is a procedure that has been set in place for quite some time. It works. And it's accountable. This whole discussion of late is just more par for the course. Vote. Okay. Let me go ahead and turn some snapshots on. Just 3 today. Orioles Ascension was number 1. Number 2, Bad Habits. And number 3, Never an Absolution. From the Titanic soundtrack. Keep in mind that those are 3 random shuffled pieces of music that I had play. I caused them to play, press the play, out of intent to ask, to participate in a conversation with God. Just keeping it simple, keeping it real. No need for complexity. It is what it is. I spent this moment with this intent, bringing with me my thoughts of the day leading up to that point, thinking about the world, thinking about what I was going to come up here and talk about. It's in the title. And these are the three. I look for it initially, is always how I go into this, for acknowledgement that this presence is acknowledging that there is a connection there. Oriel's Ascension, Jeremy's Soul, Elder Scrolls. That happens to be from a game soundtrack. I have soundtracks in my playlist, just in generic soundtrack that plays. It did play. I took a picture of it. Snapshot. Then we go to Bad Habits. Black Summer's Night, that's the album. To Never an Absolution, which was totally in line with my title. There's never enough. Anyway, that is. Just for clarity, I claim that I have been building what I look to be a friendship at the core. That's what I'm looking for in this presence. I want to be a friend, and I want a friend. I need a friend. Everybody needs a friend. So, my name's Joseph, if you didn't know that already. And this is my space on YouTube, while it's allowed to be there, be here, dreaming reality with God and music, which I am listening to. I would have it playing in the background as I spend a moment here. The Forgotten season just started to play. That's an instrumental, new age. I like to think of it as visionary. Some electronic. Richard Bermer. But I don't want to get carried away in that. I want to move on from the music. I just want to put that out there and explain why the playlist or the pictures are playing there. And there's only 3, which I mentioned yesterday. That usually that's what I prefer to do to how I interact. Yesterday, though, I did let it play for a couple hours. Been a while since I've done that, listened like that. I listen to everything. I take in everything that's going on around me, outside of me, inside me, and I see it as another approach from this intelligence, but through the music, for me anyway, seems very clear enough that if I have the music playing, like I'll turn it on my phone and let it play and put it in my pocket, and I find myself in a conversation with others that very early on they will notice in the music, they'll mention what's playing because it's right in line with the conversation that's taking place. Now, is that AI? Are they truly listening to everybody? I suppose it would have to be, I guess, on that level, and able to pre-select what will play next. I don't know, other than to say that when I'm thinking my thoughts, I don't press play, but prior have an open discussion out in the air about what it is. It's all in my mind. I'm thinking thoughts. Very personal, private. You don't have to, there's no persecution, because it's just between whatever you are thinking and what you feel comes back with the music. I love the music. Music soothes the soul. Does for me. I can't imagine it would be any less for others. There's just something about it. The frequencies, they connect on a surreal level. It's very ethereal, because you can't, it's not tangible. You can't put your finger on it, but it's there nonetheless. So the pie, I should get to the pie, right? The money pie. I want to spend a dedicated moment sharing my thoughts, conclusions, some, on money. And I find that the pie, a pie, your pie, picture a pie, your favorite pie, a whole pie, untouched. That should be easy to imagine. Your favorite pie, if you love pie, cake. You're not a pie lover. Whatever it is, there's only one of them, and it's whole and complete. And that pie is the money pie, the wealth of the world, all the money, all of it. All of it's laid out in that pie. Now I'm going to be generous as I share my thought, and just to make it easy. So we'll cut that pie up into six slices. I like a nice slice of pie. One slice out of six. 1 out of 6. Cut that pie into 6. And that one slice of money, the world's money, is all the money that you have, I have, all the neighbors around me, the city next door, city way up the road, city in the next state, on and on and on and on and on and on. Worldwide. is in that one piece of pie. All the money that you and I and everybody, the majority, have to work with. That's it. Now the rest of that pie is still there. And it's money, the money pie. The rest of that money is in the hands of a very few, very, very few. You know, people think of millionaires, and I think a lot of people see those people as they're elite. No. Millionaires are a dime a dozen. No. We're talking about amounts of money that very, very few possess, own, call theirs, their empire. Very few. That money is stagnating. It's not doing anything. Not really. If it were, then there would not be so few people holding all the marbles. There wouldn't. But there are very few holding all the marbles, all the money, doing pretty much absolutely nothing with it except for continuing to work towards amassing more, because that's the business. That's the business. It's what they do. It's what they've always done. Amass more and more and more. It's almost beyond whoever could ever begin such a thought as far as how to build a society and how it will function and work. Meanwhile, that slice of pie, that one slice of pie that we're not, it's getting smaller and smaller. As if, clearly that slice of pie is not, it's not doing anything good for the world, for making things happen. Because we don't have enough of the pie, the world pie, the one pie. Enigma of the Gate is playing. I just thought I'd toss that in. Just started playing. It's a shorty. It's an intro to an album. One of their albums. I'd like to think that as a person began to watch these streams, that eventually there will be a stream where they've started the play button on their playlist of random music and listen. I think that again, there is a presence here. It's here right now. Always has been and always will be. It doesn't ever leave. I have nothing against religion. It has at its core a message that makes perfect sense. I do think, though, that It's a message that's been twisted and manipulated and now controlled. Everything is controlled nowadays. And it teaches one, at the end, you're left, you get to the end of this books, close it, you're left with the end of everything. Okay? You're left with that. With the hope of waiting for a Savior to return. Not just any Savior, but one who's been here before. So right off the bat, you've begun closing doors, limiting the options for any Savior. So you're all waiting for God to return. I'm saying to you right now, which is always here, God is here now. Never left. Never left. What a wonderful world it would be if you were not waiting for a wonderful world. We're waiting. We're in crisis right now around the world. I think we're in shock of what's actually unfolding. It's the end. It's that end of the book is closing. We're in that moment. I can't say every person I can say that I talk to of late, that I have that opportunity, which isn't many. I'm not out and about. But those that I do, out of their mouth, before I'll say it, they're on that page, that revelation. This is it. Everything I read, it just seems like it's happening around me in real time. So the waiting, I suppose you could say, is over. I suppose you could say that. I think that, again, people have been waiting, and so they've built their beliefs upon that. They're sunken in, roots deep, and there's no changing where their stance, what they hold to be their firm terra ground. Feeling safe. I think that what's taking place and what's about to take place is so far removed from what people have built up. Not saying that this is a bad thing, a scary thing, not at all. I'm saying that what's coming, the next step. For some, I'd like to, and I imagine beaming out this possibility that many others are receptive to what's coming. The next step. This world as it was, because clearly today is not like yesterday, is not going to go back to yesterday. Why? Because yesterday did not work. Yesterday was a part of leading up to today. Everything in yesterday. All the days of yesterday leading up to this point right now. Guitar would just start playing some more Visionary. It's on that theme. Fire. Fire is the title of the song, the track. Let's see what album. Astral Voyage. Boy, wouldn't I like to be doing that, like right out there in the stars, galaxies. Part of me, I feel I already have done that. You get to a point, I guess, where you're just going to see the same thing. Just instead of here, it's over there. It's so vast. Your odds are you're going to at some point. Anyway, I'm starting to stray away from the money pie. This is important thought to share. I'm still, I imagine in my mind this slice of pie that's all the money, the billionaires, millionaires. Those people, I look at those people, if I were going to put them on a scale, pyramid and levels and all that, those people are like poor people in comparison. How a poor person or low income, or which is there's a great amount of people, and it's all by design. Why? Because it's a business. Somebody wants more. They have it. Boy, do they have it. And I don't think it's by God that they have it. This slice of pie, and that's all we have to work with. The only way we can have more money is to magically create it and print it. Those few that hold all the money, they allow that. They allow us to do that because it becomes a debt owed back to them. They're not worried about getting it back. So they'll take the gamble, the risk. They'll they'll make a deal. A signed deal. Acknowledgement of a debt owed. So that's the only way we can increase the slice of the pie that we, the majority of the world, this world, have to work with, to create our cities, to create the life that we are all striving for. And I like to think that the good majority of those people are doing it with an intent that all their peoples would relish in that same space, place, happy, joyful, excited, ready to go. Not give up and not stand down. Can't say it enough. I just cannot say it enough. Wake up, stand up, and speak up. Because the business that's the name of the game is geared towards removing free speech, free thought, your thoughts, your opinions. It is. I can't imagine that you... this is a tough one that I'm trying to still wrap my brain around, that this is actually taking place, this kind of mentality. Your right to speak up is now being considered a crime. Because you have the power to affect another. You have the power to wake another up. And somebody doesn't like that. They don't like that at all. Wake up, yeah, they're in total agreement. You need to, and best, wake up. And cease and cease all continuing of thoughts against the state, the whatever, the system, which is these few elites, politicians. I think the thing with politicians is that many of them, not all, but many of them, if not most, go into it with the intent to help the world, to make the world a better place. But once they get in there, and they're there for a little while, money is at the core of everything. Money is before humans on this world. Because without it, unless you're in Timbuktu or deep in the heart of the Amazon, you cannot exist without money. Okay? I don't think that that's something that needs to be debated, argued, whatever. It is what it is. Money is at the core of everything. How do you think that there are only a few people in this moment, this present moment right now, who have it all? Who can literally do anything they want? Why? Why? Because they have 5 slices of the pie, and you don't. I mean, here you have a few people with slices, whole slices of pie. And then you have this one slice. Okay. Now, if you're bold enough to take it, to take the next step, another notch, imagine that one slice, where you fit into that one slice, because you are one in billions. How many billions are we at? 7 billion people plus. So your piece of that pie is one of 7+ billion. So even if you had $1 million, your slice of that one slice, your piece, would be minuscule. Just a bleep. It's nothing compared to the amounts of money we are talking about when talking about the few who currently have it all. That's just what it is. That's the truth. You can't twist it any other way. It's like, where do you go with this? I should start with, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. It's crazy. It's absolute insanity right now. It's just upside down. Well, I see why people I come across are like, this is it. Revelation. God's coming. Better get right. I don't, in the back of my mind, think, what are they talking about? I know why they're sharing such thoughts. Not questioning it. I'm not thinking, no way, you're full of it. You don't know what you're talking about. It's good. Good times. Happy times. We're all having a party. As far as going back, I know there's a lot of pushback to that thought, because many want to go back to the way it was. There's a reason why we are here where we are at, and it's money, yeah. That's one side. There is the other side, the flip side, so to speak. And that is that there is so many ways to put it, to phrase it. I think I like best to think of teaching. School, you're in school learning. And graduation, that whole process. I sense that as a species of humans, black and white, all colors, one species, are making a step onward. I don't look at it as forward, like the future, as much as I do onward. This is just nature. We are graduating. What does that mean? What comes after? Well, as always, there's a break, an intermission, and then you go back to school. You continue to learn. It's an ongoing process that makes perfect sense. I don't question why we go through the process of learning. What I question is why we get to a point as a society where that kind of shuts off, gets turned off. There's the pursuit of knowledge is not so much there. It's, when you turn 18, you need to get a job, you need to move out, get a place of your own, and yeah. Anyway, we are evolving. We're always changing. What's next? I focus on, the mind is the next frontier. I mean, I could choose to narrow in on, say, something like quantum physics. Endless possibilities. And I don't argue or question that as what can be. What I focus on is now. Right now. This moment. Real time. Not yesterday or tomorrow. Because when it comes down to it, let's just go back into the boat and we're waiting for land to appear, show up. I could do that. We could all do that. Or we can stop waiting for somebody else. Especially when you live in a world based on the money. See, this is a hard one. It's so complicated. Everything is connected to money right now at this moment. Everything that's happening, taking place. Business. I look at it as a game. They call it a business. It's on right now. It's being played right now. And what's the goal? What's the aim? To put more in their pocket. The more, the better. More, more, more. And with time, they grow. They buy companies up. And somehow, some way, they become connected to these few. Very few. In the whole scheme of things, as far as that pie, and who owns that pie. I don't see these people doing good things for the world, to help make that slice of pie that represents the world, because I don't see these other people as representing the world. But that one slice of pie that does represent the world, I don't see them helping, contributing to that pie slice, becoming a part of that pie slice. I don't. If that were the case, then my slice of the pie, your slice of the pie would be more in line with reality. This is not reality. What's going on right now, and I think any intelligent being outside our bubble, sphere of going-ons would rest easy. They would rest easy with, wow, they still don't get it. They're being slowed down from progress. And killing each other in the process. War is big business. Somebody was asking me earlier today, I think they were homeless. I went to my friend's house. She has a cat who is ill. It caught something respiratory. And it needs its medicine, and it's been out for almost a week. And I wanted to recycle my 50 water bottles, because that's all you can do a day in California for the for the deposit. And it's right there, so it was made it fell in line with where I would be. So I went to help get the cat, which all I did was, here, kitty, 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 kitty. And Kitty came up to me, a little hesitant at first, but she came. And she's now in a cage where she can continue to receive her medicine. And boy, she did sound rough. Yeah, that was a little scary. I had to take a step back because I'd never heard a cat wisping like that. Just seemed happy. I was not like all laid out or anything. Wanted to be touched. Anyway, I'm starting to stray again. Everything is taking its toll. Life. On the way back from doing this act of kindness, while there, there was another person there, and I was talking with them about current events, and they were asking me about different presidents and what I thought of different presidents, and you got to Bush. He said, "What about the Bushes?" And I mentioned this only because it had to do with money. So I'm not really a Busher. I understand them. I know what they're about, and it's the money. It's business. It's money. But they are accountable for thinking of the right word. There's many words, but the flow of cash, of money into Hitler's Germany, World War II. Okay? They did. From my understanding, from what I've seen and heard, and who knows what's real anymore, I guess, is fair game. That's knowledge that I've known for quite some years now. But that's a reality. At least from where I'm standing, viewing the world. Money. Business. It's like, in their mind's eye, it was okay. Because it's just a business. I'm running a business here. This is what you do. Well, I'll sell you some too. I'll work with you as well. I'm gonna cut a deal. I'm sure the option was made available to all sides. Anybody who wanted a slice of whatever pie they had to contribute towards the effort of World War II. So yeah, when he got to the Bushes, I was like, yeah. I told him my honest answer to him, I think pretty much the only answer, other than when he said who he liked, I did add in that, I didn't really have a problem with that person. But I said that I felt like I would have to go a lot farther back to find a president that I felt comfortable with, like they're doing something to make things better, doing the right thing. And I'm not guilting any of these presidents. From hence onward, from that point when I feel I could hone in on a president that I agreed with, because politics, government, it's all about money. Money, money, money. It's all. Period. Okay? If you can't comprehend that, then going forward isn't gonna, I don't think is gonna lead one to understand it then. As far as my presentation here right now. Making sure I got the mic on it. Usually I like to check that. That was the one thing I didn't. Yeah, it's on. Hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. I'm standing Yesterday I sat down. Today I'm standing. So the pie. See, now you want to talk about the Democrats. Now, if you want to talk about the pie, when I look at at least what I thought it was to be a Democrat, or what I see as a Democrat, I see them as trying to acknowledge this pie factor, because it's a serious issue. It really is. How can you ever hope to have a world in peace? I mean, the whole world. When the whole world consists of a slice of the pie governing the world. Never, ever gonna happen. Collapse is inevitable. Always is. We've been here and done this. Trying to figure out how do you distribute the wealth amongst the people. Fairness, equality. We've tried to become civilized in our expression of those ideals. Look at us and all that we can do right now. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's a wonder, the things that we have discovered, the things that we can do, things you don't even know about, or I, but they're there, right on the cusp of being revealed. They could. I think that a lot of people are waking up. They're becoming aware. I think that's clearly the system, the top, the manipulators, the puppet string pullers. They know exactly what's going on, what's unfolding. And it's all intentional. It's by design. I mean, when I see the mayor, again, I'm just going to reiterate that mayor up there in Portland. I won't say his name. Protect myself. Who are you talking about? The mayor of Portland, Oregon, in Portland, Oregon. Who, by the way, has said that he's moving from his home because the rioting, the protesting, it's scary. No shit. You just now realizing that? How can somebody just realize that right now? This has been going on. How long up there? It's been going on all around the country. Sparks here and there. But in that place, it's been like a daily thing. They're starting to calm down. But, yeah, I mean, you got the mayor's going to move. I mean, what runs through such a mind? What was said to this person? Because I can't imagine that you have this mayor and they're not in communication with somebody higher up in the chain of the government there. County, state. So what's going on there? Like I said last night, at least I hope I did, that no. I mean, from the very beginning, my mind has been just befuddled, dumbfounded, that choices were made that just made no sense. You know, I defund the police. Yeah, that's the answer. Well, any intelligent, thinking, aware person knows that the first thing that happens when you do that is crime goes up. It just does. That's like a no-brainer. You don't even need to think. You just know. Gut. Go with that. Because that's the truth. So right off the bat, to hear an elected official, a government official, advocating for what was allowed to continue to take place is it's like, I guess it's not even worth the time to talk about. He should go and move far away and forever keep his mouth closed. Just enjoy what life any of us have in this crazy, chaotic world that we created. God didn't do this. Satan didn't do this either. That's an argument that I'm getting tired of. The whole God and Satan, good and bad. It's like, get over it. Like with the waiting, stop waiting. God is here. Let me expand briefly on that. When I say God is here, if I want to explore, define in more clarity what I'm speaking about for me, what I'm perceiving, I perceive this God that I refer, know as God, as an intelligence. It's intelligence. It's a mind. A mind, it thinks. It's intelligence. Clearly beyond any of us here on earth. But in the end, at the end of the day, that's what God simply is. Intelligence, awareness of that intelligence. How old is it? Timeless. That's why I say it's always here, it's always been here. There's no beginning. Why? Every beginning requires, see how am I going to word this? It's a never-ending story, because you're always going to continue to know. You can't get rid of the thought. It's just impossible, because it's truth. You're always going to be left with, well, what was before the beginning that you suppose is there, exist. Always. You'll never, ever be able to escape that course of action with thought. What came before that? It's a very valid question. I think it's simple. It's completely exposed. It's not hiding anything in the shadows, between the lines. It is what it is. Well, I've been here an hour. I think I'm going to wind this one down. I think I'm trying to keep these around an hour or less. I don't even want to spend time talking about my intent. I'm just going to keep going the way I'm going. I have lots to say. I can expand for hours and days. Oh, you know what? I can't leave without sharing this, because, or maybe I should just save it for another day. I think I will. Money is at the core of everything. And there will never be enough. The truth in that is that we create money now. We make it up. It doesn't exist one moment, and then the next moment it's there. But it isn't our money. See, that's the catch. It's not yours or mine or anyone's money. As far as the world, society, this working civilization, I wanted to talk about a little bit of UFOs, I guess, but I'm not going to do that in this one. I think I kept it pretty much for the most part to money. My thoughts. I hope you can keep that vision of this pie and that one slice, and how that slice of pie represents what you have to contribute to the well-being of the world. And that's a good way of putting it. That one slice is pretty much, it is the only slice that is working towards the well-being of the world as you know it. And I'll do another show about it. They're not going back. We're never going back. More dedicated. But yeah, I think that's good. I think think about it. Think about it. Think about everything. Dream, reality. Think about that. Reality. Nobody knows what this is. Reality, this, nobody. There's not a single person that knows with absolution. It's all best guess. It is. Anything's possible. It really is. So, I leave you with be well and smile. You gotta smile. There's a lot of bad going on right now. Bad days. It is what it is. But still, there are flickers, sparks of hope going off, shining through, and they're building, and it's leading up to something huge. See ya.